Hello, hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to What's on Your Mind, really. This evening, what's on your mind? There's so many things on our minds, and we don't know how to go about them, and just so many issues. I wish I had a mentor very early in my life in the areas that in my area, the areas of interest, the areas that tug my heart, and the things that I wanted to do. I wish I had someone that would just guide me. I know the funny thing about in this coaching and mentoring that I do, I just realized that just one word, just one sentence, just one encouragement that you can give to somebody can just change their lives, it can just change their lives, their perspective to life. Somebody just told me something, and that changed the perspective, my own perspective, and I think the first time that I spoke, and the first time that I preached, and I realized that you have so many things written down, and at the end of the day, I always had, as a young speaker then, I always had a problem of having to finish everything I needed to say. And if I don't do that, I feel that I've not done a good job. And I always worry that I don't forget the important points that I needed to. And so I had to write those things down, highlight them in a way that I look and I'll be able to talk. And a very old speaker is a pastor, very old, and just told me that you see that speaking is 80% the Holy Spirit and 20% content. So it means that not that you do not not that you do not prepare, you prepare, but when you stand there and hold the mic, you are going to speak. You are going to allow the Holy Spirit open your mind and speak through you. And that is what makes the difference, really. Yielding to the Spirit of God to give you the utterance. And that was what Paul was talking in the book of Acts, Acts 1, verse 8. I said, when he said, there's a power to witness, For you're giving us power to witness, to be able to speak. It gives you different kind of words, grammar, opens up your vocabulary, and you begin to say things that you normally do not say. And that was just one word of counsel that changed and improved my speaking engagement, gave me more confidence, because every time I speak, I have an issue. I say, oh, why this, why that? Is it that you don't prepare? I prepare 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours to talk for 30 minutes. But when it comes to the time to talk, I let the Spirit guide me in the things that I want to say, because you might just come there for one person. What you say there might just be targeted towards one person. And if he hears that, then you have done a good job as far as God is concerned. You've done a good job. So you have to let him speak to you. When you speak to people, you don't have to be a closed book. You don't have to be scripted, because as you're talking to someone or you're talking to people, you have to let their spirit connect with your spirit so that you can tell them what they want. And it's so refreshing, and it helps people. And that's why I do what I do, because in this way I'm able to connect with you. I'm able to connect with you, and I'm able to be led to be connected to you, and so that I can say exactly what you need, so that you can become free, you can become a better person at that thing that you did. So that is my story of how somebody helped me to become a better speaker, just by telling me just one word of advice. And that is the reason behind what's on your mind, or one of the reasons behind one of what's on your mind, where you can just reach out to somebody and just speak to them directly, that can change, that can lead to that counsel changing their life. So once again, welcome to What's on Your Mind Wednesday Live with Uche Onochie. So today I have two questions, two very important questions from two people, and they ask very important questions, and I'll try to see how I can help them. If you miss any of this, you can get it in my YouTube channel. You can get it on my YouTube channel, and you can get the teachings there. So if I'm taking Deji's question, Deji's from Jaws. If you're here, just wave to me and let me know that you are already in the house, so that I will know, okay, how to begin to channel your my words, to you directly. So, but if you're late in any way, you can go back to my channel, Uche Onoche channel, and you will be able to you'll be able to watch it again. So Deji says, good morning. I am 29 and I run an interior decor business. A senior friend has hired me to decorate his house, and it's a huge deal for me. However, his daughter, my age range, makes inappropriate advances towards me. She returned to Nigeria about 3 years ago. It's really uncomfortable because I don't think about her in that way. Now I don't even want to go to the house when she's alone. I can't abandon the work I've already started. How do I proceed? Hmm. You see, Deji is, now they always say that sexual harassment in the office, sexual harassment. But men don't speak their own, or men just laugh it off and just shrug it off and just and just move on. There's sexual harassment, men. I also think that men should have, on a lighter mode now, there's also to discuss the issue of sexual harassment of men. Nobody takes that serious, but it does happen. And I understand the situation where you find yourself. You find yourself in a situation that when you tell your friends, they laugh at you and say it's a good problem that you have, and people will not take you seriously, but it's something that you do not want, and you don't also want to mess up the relationship that you have with your senior, you say your senior friend. You don't want to mess it up, because I have a feeling that this senior friend is somebody that is instrumental to the success of your business. How? In terms of more connection, more referrals to you, with more referrals to you. It is very important for you. I know that this client is important to you. So we all have senior friends, and we don't take them lightly, because I know that this job, and you said, is a huge deal for you. So it means that the job is probably lucrative and can lead to others. So you can't afford to mess up. That is the summary of it all. You can't afford to mess up. But look at this. Woman here is just um, is just having a nice time. Came back from, he says she returned to Nigeria, and so maybe she's having a wrong concept of the way things are done here. But be that as it may, I will advise you to do certain things, in as much as when you tell people, they will laugh at it, but do not ignore it. I don't think it's something that is you should ignore, because one thing is that you're already uncomfortable. You are very uncomfortable about it. Don't laugh it off. Nip it in the bud. Otherwise, this person might continue to feel encouraged when you don't take a decisive action. I know that anything you do, you find yourself like Joseph in the Bible. Joseph, and how will Joseph begin to tell the world that his boss's wife is making advances towards him, sexual advances towards him? How will he begin to explain it? How will he begin to do? What he did was to flee. But in this case, you cannot flee. In this case, you cannot determine when she's at home alone. You can't determine those things, and you have to be careful to know what to do, because we've had a situation that certain women, just like Potiphar's wife, will go and first of all report to the dad and turn it around and say, this is what you are doing. And so you might lose that relationship, also lose that job, and maybe for some kind of fathers, you can land yourself in court. So I understand the things that you're going through your mind, but at the same time, you need to set some ground rules. You're uncomfortable, you don't see her in that way, you have to set some ground rules, even if you know that a lot is at stake, but you are highly uncomfortable with this thing. So set ground rules, inform her that her behavior is unwanted, in your own way, directly or in any way you can, but directly is the best way that you should do it, is to sit her down and probably have a talk with her, have a long talk with her in terms of so that it will not be as if you are misinterpreting what she's saying. So Deji, maybe you need to talk to her and sit down and say, look, these things that you are doing, these signs, signals, and that you are giving to me, please, what does it mean? I don't want to jump into conclusion. What does it mean? Your father is important to me. Father is one of the people that I hold in high esteem. What do you mean by this? Because the best way to stop something is to confront it, is to tell her, what do you mean by this? You need to be wise. Then she will now come out. If you guys haven't reached that stage, I think you have to confront it and ask her, what do you mean by all these things? And when she says that, then you can politely try to let her know that, see, I'm in a relationship, I have a fiance, I'm almost married, I am not ready for any relationship. You find whatever it is, you know her, at least you've interacted with her, but you need to find something that is the truth or close to the truth about what you feel. You will not tell her that, look, I don't have anything towards you. You probably sandwich. When you talk to women, you have to sandwich um, the the conversation, as in you use the sandwich method, which is you have to pamper, you have to flatter before you now say what you want to say, that you put it in the middle. So you can start with something like, well, I'm really flattered that someone like you will even be interested in someone like me. That is when she comes out to tell you exactly what she has in mind. She has to spell it out. Let it not be in sign language or things that you don't understand. She has to spell it out. And when she does, you also have to prepare your line, and when she does that, you're going to prepare your line and just say to her that, look, I'm so flattered that somebody like you is having interest in someone like me, and you thank her and just tell her that you appreciate that she's probably has made your day, but there's an issue. There's an issue, and you also feel that she has been truthful to you. You also need to be truthful to her, and to tell her that you are in a relationship, or to tell her that you have a fiance, tell her that you're getting married soon, tell her whatever that is close to the truth, or the truth about it. But you can never tell her you don't think of her in that way. Women like to be told. Women are moved by what they hear. So you also have to be careful in the way you tell her those things, the way you relate that with her. Because if you come off in an arrogant manner, she might just go and report you to her father and flip it. And the next thing you know, that the contract is lost, that relationship is lost, and God forbid that shouldn't happen to you. So as much as you can, you watch your words. If I were you, I will rehearse my words of try and make it as flattery, try to flatter her, but be firm in what you want to, and that you're really flattered that she's saying this to you, but you are you cannot, it's not possible, you are not available, you are taken, and you've already gone. I don't know, I'm just giving you examples of what you can say, but let it be the truth. Let it not be far from the truth, but don't tell her you don't think about her in that way. You are privileged and honored that she reached out to you, but it just doesn't work. It can't just work now, and then you put in your own reasons. You are in the best position to do that. Now you don't even want to be in the house alone with her, because you need to confront it. It has to be something that you confront, and two of you talk like adults. She's an adult, and two of you can talk, and you let her know. See, sometimes you need to confront your fears. And I know that this your fears, Banji. I know that you might be afraid. You might be afraid. Okay. You might be afraid of what might happen. But you need to confront your fears. You just need to confront your fears. You just have to confront your fears about what the outcome might be, and just sit her down. You will need to have that talk, since you're uncomfortable about it. You cannot determine when she's home alone. You can't determine, it's not your house. But when you have this talk, you don't come off in an arrogant manner, or after the talk you begin to act as if you are snubbing her. That might escalate and I might jeopardize your work. You can't abandon the work. You cannot abandon the work. You can't abandon the work. It's not possible. You just need to speak out and be firm and tough in what you want. Then take precautions of what is acceptable to you, and the lines that should not be crossed. There should be lines that shouldn't be crossed by anybody. So just discuss it to the best of your ability. And I hope you're a prayerful person. Also pray, because I feel you. I work for clients, and I have senior friends that I do things for. So I understand what you feel, how you feel right now. You don't want to, and you can't abandon the job, not for this. So I think it's time for you to confront it, and it's time for you to discuss and try to flatter her, but be firm in what you are going to say to her, and fill it up and tell her the truth and see how it goes. But it's something that you need to speak to her, and so that you can be comfortable. It's not, that if it was you that is harassing her, it's easy for her. She would have called FIDA, she would have called the women lawyers in Jos and wherever, and by now you probably be in court. But for a man, they feel that those things are not nothing, that you should be strong, but you don't want it, and it could be detrimental to your job. So you should, as much as possible, to see how you talk this out, iron it out, and then move on. So Deji, I don't think it's too much of something that should bother you too much, but confront it and see how it goes. I wish you luck, and I know that it's something that you guys can handle amicably. Okay, so now I have a guy named Manny B. Manny B is from Lagos. Manny B in Lagos, and this is what he says: I have been running a shawarma spot here with my cousin for the past 6 months. It's been fine. Recently, though, my cousin has been getting unprofessional. He's been resuming late and generally has a lax attitude to business. I don't want to have to fire him because of all the family baggage involved, but I don't know what to do. He's 7 years older than me, by the way. Wow, Manny, the issue now is that Manny, you have gone to go and first of all do. I advise people try as much as possible to keep away from doing business with family. Doing business with family can be a headache at times. And when you want to do business with family, I will also advise that one person must be a passive, how will I put it, a passive director, not necessarily in there. Or you have legal grounds, or you have legal grounds, or legal, how do you, MOU to back what you are doing. You're already in it. Family is a difficult nut to crack. So to enter business with a family it can be troublesome. But let me give you a few tips. You shouldn't have gotten into business with a family member, with your cousin. But because you have gotten into business, now what we can do is damage control. Damage control. I've had businesses, people have their relatives going to businesses with their relatives, but their relatives are not their investors. They're not necessarily running it on a day-to-day basis with them because family has a way to, like you said, be lax in their attitude towards business, and that's what we see. But this is some of the tips that I can give to you. First, um, you have to discuss the effect of unprofessionalism on his part, and how it is affecting the bottom line. So this can be done. I had this discussion with a friend many years ago, and he was, in fact, his own relative is almost like an uncle that is 15 years older than him, but and it was a big disaster. So, but this is what I advise him to do then, and I also advise you to do, is that I told him to do a weekly figures of what is happening in the business. Do a weekly figures, and so you have a weekly meetings. Even have meetings on Mondays and on Fridays where everybody discusses, oh, those for sales, those for this, and that is where you are able to counsel people, and that's where you're able to talk to people that their work, if you come late, it will affect the business. So it was a weekly appraisal and performance review was done on a weekly basis. So he had a template where coming late, because he said he comes late, and laxity, all those things. So when they come to do their weekly appraisal and performance review, it's listed that, oh, who came late, who came this, who did this. And because of that, they started putting out the best worker of the month. So this is uncle kept falling behind. Every day he's late. Every day he's not doing his job. Every time, and he didn't say anything to him. When he's scolding the other staff, he doesn't talk to him. But you see that the reports, the results are there, and the uncle sees the result. So after 1 month, the uncle was feeling very, very, very uncomfortable. And one day he told him, he used it in our local parlance. He said, these small kids, let me just put it, he said, these small kids, because he's talking about the other stuff. He said, these small kids are embarrassing me here. Don't they know that I'm uncle? And he said, no, you know what will happen? I don't think I can do this. Maybe I need to step back, because I don't think that I can, and that I'm no longer have that interest. I think maybe I'll step back and do something else. And moreover, he was even thinking of relocating out of their city. So he said, why? Of course, he didn't sound happy. He said, why? Okay. He said, no, that I can't meet up. I'm not able to meet up with all these rules, because he made it obvious that for us to be able to achieve this target, because they had a weekly target of sales, for us to achieve it, we have to do this, do that. And the conduct in the office also is also noted as some of the things that can help them be productive. So he put everything there, and everybody's report was being appraised on a weekly basis, and what they are doing and what they are doing, how is impacting the company and sales. So the guy felt guilty, embarrassed, and said, look, I have to go. I have to go. And he left. And my friend said when he left, he now went to church that Sunday and he did serious thanksgiving. You see, because it's family. It is family. And his family is like, they are very delicate. No matter which angle you come, there is a family member that will say something, so it's very delicate. Most cases you have to engineer and stage it for that person to know that their time is up. That it's just like when somebody comes to your house and the time is up. I have a friend that says if somebody comes, those people that come that they don't want to go, you just start pretending as if you are sleeping. And I said some people, you are better not be cooking when those people are there, because they'll just let you sleep, and when the food is ready, they're going to eat. There are some people that come, they don't want to leave. And so what he now did was he tried to reduce. He said he was going to remove the comfortable chairs in his parlor and make it uncomfortable, so that you don't stay too long there. He doesn't like visitors, rather visit him in the office. So either way, on a lighter note, I'm just trying to let you know that you can make things a bit uncomfortable, not uncomfortable, but you can do things that can help them realize that maybe their time is up. How can you do that? An example is to cut down on the workload you give to them. Cut it down to almost negligible and say, look, don't bother about this. Let's employ somebody or let this person do it. I know you don't need to bother. You are my relative. You don't need to bother about this. Let somebody do. You remove the critical functions, the tasks from him, in the belief that, look, you are my relative. I don't want to stress you. Let these people do it, so that he has no responsibility. Gradually do it in a gradual way. He has no responsibility until he will get to a point that he says, what am I really doing here? It has worked for some people. What am I really doing here? So that the relative will find their way. And now, because of you said something, resuming late and lax attitude to business. So is a room for you to have face-to-face. You can say, since he's older than you, you can meet him and say, look, let me call. You are coming late. And this thing is affecting. You are coming late, and your attitude. Are you sure, brother? Are you sure, or sister? Are you sure that you are still interested in this business? You might be surprised that he is the one giving you those attitudes, so that you can ask him, and so that he can tell you, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So you might be there thinking that this man is doing, but the guy is also looking for an exit strategy. That might be his exit strategy. So maybe I think that it's time for brothers or sisters, or brother and sister, to have a talk. Look, I noticed lateness. I noticed that, and in this is dragging us back. I noticed that your nonchalant attitude or your lax attitude to business. What is happening? Is there anything wrong? Is everything wrong if everything right at home? Is there anything wrong? You put it in that way, the person will say, look, I'm living far, or I have this issue, or I have that issue, I have that. and that is when you begin to job. Are you sure with all these things you've told me that you can still function in this place? You talked about, I don't want to fire him. So for you to say, I don't want to fire him, it means that the business is yours. If you say, he's my partner, then you should be talking about buying him out of the business. But you say you don't want to fire him, so it means that it's your business and you can't fire him. So that's what it means. Discuss with him face to face. Find out his own side of the story. Maybe he doesn't want to do it anymore and he doesn't know how to ask you or say it to you. So maybe you need to find out why. If it's lack of interest, then maybe you can gently ask him, does he want to try something else if this is no longer fulfilling for him? So you put it in that way and see. But I think that you need to confront this thing, but in a gentle way, not like the other guy. I said, look, he needs to sit down and confront whoever is trying to make his life miserable. But in this way, you need to ask him and say, look, I think that this thing is affecting us. Show him how it's affecting you from the records and show him from the weekly appraisals and all that. Let him see it from the records, not that you are accusing him. Don't point fingers. Don't point fingers and say, oh, it's you. From the records, let the records point the fingers. Let the sales point fingers. Let productivity point fingers, not you. And say, because of this and the image of which I want this company to have, I'm trying to build a tight organization here. I believe that I want to do this, whatever your vision is. And I don't want it. I don't want this company culture. I don't want this culture here. And you are my relative, that's why I said, let me ask you, is there a problem? So that I'll know how to accommodate you in this. And he or she might open up and tell you what's on your mind. I don't know what it is, but I think at that point you will know what to do. And like I said, help them in the transition when you notice by removing heavy load from them. And heavy load is responsibility in the company, and responsibility is what gets you increased promotion and all that. Remove those key things from him to other people, and so that he has less workload, watch it. It's a gradual process. It's not something you can just take a decision, but remove those things from him and gradually just ask him those questions, why those things are happening. You see what to do. Then you say you don't want to fire, but I think for the sake of the business is a going concern, and you are in business for profit. You're not in business for for family. Family in business at times, most times, because I've only seen few times that family in business works. Family in business most times have issues. So we must try as much as possible to see that we safeguard ourselves from this. Safeguard. If you have a relative that is coming, safeguard. There was a time I had a pact with my friend, and I said, look, if you have a relative, send the relative to me. If I have a relative, I'll send to you, so that they will look for something else for them to do, and not necessarily have to work in your own company, so that you don't have to get into all this family said this family said that. I've had a situation where somebody had to lay off a relative. I've had that situation because you have to let them know, part of your discussion, sorry, before I come to the laying off, part of your discussion, you have to let them know this is business. We're here for business. And it must be done in a way that the person understands that this is not, it's not a joke. It's about my livelihood. It's about my life. I've invested money. I've borrowed money. I don't know whether it's bank loan. I had to lend money to get money to bring it in. So this is my life. I needed to work. This shawarma spot, this is my vision for it. It is business. It's about money. It's about the money. We're here. So we must do all that it takes for it. We are losing money because everybody is not in play. It needs to be clear when you're having that discussion with him. Then the final result is to part ways. Is usually not is the last thing that I would advise, but it's possible that you get to a point, if you cannot reconcile these things, then the guy needs to step aside. He has to step aside for your business. You have invested in it, so he has to step aside. But if you have to tell him to step aside, any way you need to tell him to step aside from the business, make sure that you do not go around. Make sure you do not go around to other relatives and telling them what happened. Be silent about what happened and let people jump into those conclusions. Because if you begin to go from one relative to the other and say, I want to lay off this guy, I want to do this, everybody has an opinion. Somebody told a guy I used to know, okay, so what? That your brother is not doing well in your company. Is it not your responsibility to take care of him? He said, no, it's not his responsibility. He did not give birth to him. So some family members have a weird idea that they can come to your company, do nothing, and they end, and it's your responsibility. We went to a burial of my friend's father, and while there in a burial, his younger brother was the village jester. He was drunk, and somebody asked him, or he was high, he was drunk, and somebody asked him, why don't you go to the city and go and walk? He said, God has answered their prayer, as a family by making his elder brother rich so that he can take care of them. He doesn't have to go to the city to go and walk. His brother will take care of that, will do that. So we have families that have those type of mindset, and you never know that, and they feel that your money is our money and you're my brother, you're doing well, so whatever happens, continue to pay me even if I'm not doing anything. You cannot carry dead weight. And this is also the reason why you shouldn't allow it. Assuming you have 4 key staff that you have promised them, they can see themselves part of the vision. You have promised them you are taking care of them. Then you go and bring your own brother that is doing all this, and your own brother is earning the same amount or even more than them. They become discouraged. They will become discouraged. So instead of discouraging someone, your key staff, I think that brother needs to go. I think that then you can also give him a soft landing. I'd rather be paying my brother's salary. Stay where you are. I will give you salary. I'll give you whatever it is. Okay, maybe you were earning 10,000 naira per month. I will cushion that effect. I will pay you 10,000 for 3 months. The next 6 months, I'll pay you 5,000 naira. I can do that for 1 year and maybe reduce it to 2,000 naira every month for you as your brother. I can do that, but please stay away from my company. You have to have that type of discussion. I'm giving you the points. I don't expect you to come out when you're dealing with family. It's like using hammer to kill a fly that perches on your hands. You will hurt yourself in the process. So you must, as much as possible, see how you can give that brother a soft landing. You've already made the mistake. The cost of mishire is very high. To mishire someone which you have done, the cost is high. It's just like going to get a coach for a football for a football club. If you sack him in the middle of a season, you have to pay him everything for 2 or 3 years because it's part of the contract. That's the cost of mishire. So you have to shoulder and pay at least anybody that can pay his brother 1 year salary. There is no court, even the court of heaven. They will say you have done well. Give him that soft landing because you've already made that mistake. Give him that soft landing, but he needs to go so that you can concentrate on your business. Business is about profit. Business is not about raising family. It's not a place to raise family. It's not a place to gather your family. It's a place you see. You cannot help your family if your business is not doing well. You can't help that brother or sister if your business is not doing well. It's just like you have one cow, your cash cow, who is producing the milk and producing the milk and all that you need to run your business. Then you have a brother that comes every day and sits on that cow and make sure that cow is not comfortable enough to be able to be milked. What do? Are you going to continue to allow it so that you don't produce? Maybe you are producing 100 bottles of milk every day. Now the brother comes and puts that cow in a situation that it can only milk 20. What do? Is it not better that that brother steps aside so you can continue to produce a food capacity? Then now as a brother, you can now say, I will give you a soft landing, whatever that soft landing means to you. Business, see, the business is the work of the business. For a man, his achievement, his business is where he draws his own self-esteem, his confidence, his satisfaction. God created man and gave him work first before family and wife. So you see that work is important to every man. Manny B, I don't know whether you're a man or a woman, but I believe that all this I'm saying, it will suffice. God gave man a job, and so he draws his self-esteem from his job. And it should not be messed with in any way. You must tend it to the extent to which you profit, to the extent to which you tend your business. So if this thing is going to affect you, then I think you also have to look at how you can ease him out. It's not fire. Eh? You have to look for a soft word. It's not fire, but you have to, maybe like one of my presidents there stepped aside. You have to step aside. You have to ease him out in one way or the other, and so that you can concentrate on what you're doing. But since his family, give them a soft landing. And please don't go around explaining to other family members what you did, because it will be detrimental to you. And so try as much as possible to see, may God give you wisdom on how to handle it. But please, you have a vision, and that vision needs to survive and grow. Okay, so Manny B, I wish you all the best. It's not the end of the world. I think that this is also the reason, one of the learning curves in business is just what you have hit now. And the way you go through it will determine how effective you are as an entrepreneur. And I pray that God gives you wisdom to be able to handle this matter. If you still need to reach me in any way, please feel free to still drop a note for me. I'll also be able to talk to you any further. If you wish to talk to me about it, you can also drop a note and a number. My office people will get across to you and book a time that we can speak and we can talk face to face and other things if you want that. But if I've been a blessing to you, then fine. Thank you. Then it's fine. Then we can move ahead. All right, these are the two questions that I have for today for you. And I hope that those of you that are live on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and also those that came along Zoom here with me, I hope that I've been able to answer those questions. Like I said, the areas that you can ask me things are area of business, career, leadership, personal finance, and relationships, both corporate, personal, and marriages. Those are the areas that I frequently, and those are the areas of my strength, anyways. And that's where they ask me and life questions like this. I've been around the block a few times, so I also have learned things that I can use to counsel. And the more you counsel every day, the more you become better at it. Having done this close to 20 years, I think it put me in a position that I can counsel a wide range of people on issues. So if you have someone that you would like to ask me any question that I can counsel, you can send them a link. Once you get the link and the notification sent to somebody, I would love for you to be able to invite someone to this meeting. You can join any of the handles: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Zoom. And if you still want to get back and listen to what I have said, go to my YouTube channel, Uche Onochi, on my YouTube channel. If you want to join a team of the people that I mentor on a regular basis, then you can follow this link. Banji, please put the link. Follow this link, linktree/Uche Onochi. It is spelled linktr.ee/Uche Onochi, one word. So if you want to join that group, please welcome. You're welcome to join, and you can also invite someone to join. All right, welcome back from your Easter celebration. I hope it was restful, and also what Easter meant for you. I hope it was all that and even more. This is Wednesday. Some of us have churches to go to, so I will leave you right now. But I said on Monday I'm back. On Monday, can someone remind me the topic I did last Monday? Um, High performance organizational culture. I'm doing the part two of how to build a high performing performance organizational culture. I'm doing the part two on Monday. It's ending with a bang. You need to be there, invite someone, because we're talking about culture. The culture of organization is what leads to that, to the success of that organization. So if you want your organization to improve, to be more successful, then come and listen to the concluding part of this building an effective organizational culture. So until I see you on Monday and next Wednesday, ask me any question you're free. That's why I'm doing this. This is my CSR to you, because I care for what you will become, and this is how I can give back to the world and give back for people. I was also helped along the way. So this is how I can do that. So until I see you on Monday, 5 p.m. Next week, and also Wednesday next week, I wish you a good night rest. God bless you guys.